Hello Commandos, I want to give a big shout out to our channel members. These guys support the channel and help create the high quality gameplay content. You guys rock. Go Commando.
Hello everyone, welcome to Dice Commando, the Commando Cast. I'm Andrew with you here as always. So over the last several weeks we've been looking at the impact of Legacies rotation on the meta and kind of the future of the game. And I wanted to do something slightly different because we've been looking at things very tactically. Today I actually want to look at my most missed cards of Legacies block. Hey guys, thanks for joining me again. As we kind of cap this off, like I said, I wanted to take an opportunity to look at the cards that I'm going to personally miss most when Legacies block rotates. And, you know, I think some of it is, I think that when these cards rotate, I don't really expect many of them to be reprinted. So I do think that I'm honestly just going to miss them because they're going to, you know, go in the box and we probably won't see much of them again, at least from a standard standpoint. So let's go ahead and just kind of dive in. Again, there's really no particular order to this list because I'm going to miss them all in their own ways. So first off is Sudden Impact. I don't know that this card's going to be reprinted. I think actually there's a big argument to be made for it being reprinted. The thing is, I don't think it made a big enough impact, but I don't think it made a big enough splash in the meta as it was of the last 6 sets for people to actually care about it. But it's been one of those cards that, at least for me, has just always kind of been there. Of if I'm playing a deck that has, you know, several big pay sides in it, and I'm playing red, of course, you know, is it worth bringing Sudden Impact for what it can do? And it also gives you, you know, if you're playing, you know, if you're in an Ewok heavy or a wide heavy meta, it just gives you really more options to be there. It's a neutral card, it's very good, so it's always there on the table for options. And I'm really going to miss this guy not being there for me as a deck builder for having the options of how to attack various types of decks. This lady, I'm going to miss. You call her a lady? I don't know. I'm going to miss Mother Talisman a lot. Again, this is another one of those cards that we didn't see a lot of her late, primarily when, it was Forsaken really killed her, right? You were okay running her with Motive. Like, Motive was good and you didn't want to not run Motive. You were okay running her with Motive because it was only a couple of euros. But once you started running Motive and Forsaken and the other 1 or 2 even cards that you wanted to run, she just wasn't really playable and feasible anymore. She died about ATG, but certainly died in Convergence. So anyway, takeaway is we haven't seen much of her lately. I don't see her getting reprinted because that theme kind of played itself out. But the whole odds mechanic that they had, I think, was truly fantastic. She really facilitated a lot of that. She made a lot of decks come to life, right? I mean, back even before Callus got reprinted, like, she made Callus a potential threat, right? She does a lot of really cool things. I'm going to miss her again from a deck building perspective because how many times were you a villain and you're like, oh, you know what? We should run Mother Talisman. And then you're like, oh, I can't do that because there's too many evens that I want to run, right? But she's always been there. She's always been just kind of a good thing for deck builders to have in their toolkit. All right, next card I'm going to miss, and I know a lot of people are going to miss this card, Conflicted. I would actually like to see this one get reprinted. I don't think there's anything fundamentally wrong with it. Again, it's a neutral card. The value of this card is crazy good, and it adds a little bit more randomness, and it kind of, again, fixes that puzzle. When do I play it? If I miss and I have 2 shields, then I just wasted it, right? So I think the play of this card's great. I'm really going to miss Conflicted there because to me it was almost an auto-include in a lot of my blue decks. If you're playing 50%, it was definitely 50% damage side. It was definitely an auto-include in a blue deck. Even if you're only running 1 blue character, maybe you're still running one of them. Next card, and I think that there's going to be significant impact when this card leaves. Jin's Pistol. How many people? I mean, a lot of people played Jin's Pistol, including myself, without Jin. Right? I was actually playing it with Tarful a lot. This card, it's not so much what this card does in terms of the rerolls and the pings and stuff like that, or the mills and stuff like that, right? And obviously it's amazing on Jin. But having that 3-cost red redeploy for hero really filled a huge niche slot and gave them just a little bit of much needed advantage over what red villain had. So I think when they lose this, right, you still have A300. We have whatever red blaster with redeploy comes out in the next set, right, to backfill for E11. And I think that this card being taken away from Red Hero, I think it's going to be a bigger deal than a lot of people are realizing. So I'm really going to miss this card when it rotates. And again, not specifically this card. I mean, you guys know I love Jin, but not specifically this card, but this card and the role it plays. So if we get a reprint, then maybe I won't miss this. Or if we get a similar reprint to another card that fills that slot, maybe I won't miss this as bad. But I think the impacts of this leaving are significant. Next is Impulsive. So I've already talked about in the last cast how I think Impulsive needs reprinted. I'm going to miss this card a lot because of just kind of the tactical and the surprise thing it can kind of do. So, I mean, I don't know if there's too much more to say there, right? There was a lot of times you could really set up some really cool plays, Impulsive, instigate, Impulsive, or whatever you had going on to really do some cool things. And I think it is, not I think, I'm positive that it's one of the tools that still keeps Hero kind of in the 1.5 range. And if they lose that, I'm scared to see where they will be going forward. All right, next card I have is Donderbus. I'm going to miss this card a lot. Again, this card has some problems. The die sides aren't great, and it's yellow character only, so it has caused problems. But it's just a good yellow redeploy, and the pseudo ambush isn't even really like it. It's really just the yellow redeploy slot that it fits in, because if you're looking for redeploys, a lot of times you have to try to pair with red or whatever for on the villain side, and this actually facilitated a little bit playing mono yellow villain decks, right? You play your bounty hunters. I played it a lot in the Beckett and Val, and I just think it serves a spot and kind of facilitates that happening. And I'm going to miss this card rotating out. I don't see it getting reprinted again, but I'm going to miss this card a lot. Next card is Dark Council. This card again it's not super. It's actually a pretty good card. But it was always kind of an auto. It didn't necessarily go in every villain blue deck that I built because depends what it's doing, but it's one of those cards that always kind of goes on the list, and especially with blue villain and kind of where they sit in the sabers and stuff like that, a lot of times this was I'll throw something out, it gives me a focus on the table, and then I can override it in the future for something else, right? This is a card I'm going to miss a lot. Again, I don't see it getting reprinted, and I don't think we're going to miss it that much, but I think it's unfortunate that the card's rotating out. Next is Active Cruelty. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone on going to miss this card. The play, and the thing is, by the end, everyone had it figured out. It wasn't a surprise impact anymore, right? But Active Cruelty was really a neat card. It did some pretty nasty things for finishing, getting under shields. Again, not only do I not think it's going to get reprinted, I think it probably shouldn't be reprinted, but I think I'm going to miss this card. I know I'm going to miss this card a lot. Character, I'm going to miss Poe Dameron from two-player set. This kind of goes in with the Impulsive I was talking about. But his two focus has been a lot of fun. His special has been a lot of fun. I've played him with Han. I've played him with Hondo. I've played him with Ayla, right? Doing a lot of cool stuff. I'm just really going to miss this guy, and kind of, it kind of goes in with, I was talking about Aiden before, right? This guy's kind of one of the hero last bastions of that middle range where you can do the middle different color. I'm just going to miss this guy again. I don't think he needs reprinted. There's probably way cooler Poes in the pipeline, but I think he was a lot of fun. And then I don't think it's surprising anybody to see her on this list. Jin Urso, right? I'm going to miss Jin a lot. The ability to go in, take the top card, tactically kind of mess with your opponent. Whether she was good, whether you loved her, whether you hate her, you can't deny that what she did was really cool. I'm going to miss her a lot. You guys know I like Jin Cassian, but there was Jin Luke, and there was a lot of other options out there. I'm really going to miss Jin a lot. So that is the end. I guess you could say that, from a feeling standpoint, maybe Jin is my number one card I'm going to miss. I can't see us not getting another Jin in the future, especially with everything going on, right? It's not like she's alive and we're going to see more Rogue One stuff, right? But we are seeing that Cassian series in the future, so maybe with Cassian stuff coming out, it kind of does a harken back, and we see K2 and all that. I know she won't fit into that series, but I'm just saying maybe we see that happen. So anyway, that's my list. I am very curious to see what cards you guys are going to miss, not just from the tactical and the deck building side, but what cards did you really enjoy playing that you're going to miss? That's what I want to hear. So again, thanks for joining me through this entire series, kind of having a fun discussion about what's going to happen whenever the heck Legacies rotates out. Thanks for joining me, and go Commando.